They were seconds away from what could have been the largest regional war in modern Middle East history. In Tehran, children were hiding under beds. In Tel Aviv, hospitals were activating mass casualty protocols. Sirens echoed through the night like a ticking clock of destruction. And just like that, everything stopped. 12 days of non-stop fear, fire, and fury. Then suddenly, silence, an immediate ceasefire between Iran and Israel. No preconditions, no build-up, just a rapid and shocking halt. The world was left asking, what just happened? This wasn't just a routine conflict or another skirmish. It was a full-scale confrontation between two bitter enemies, a nuclear-capable, ideologically defiant Iran, and a technologically advanced, militarily dominant Israel. Both armed, both furious, and both with too much pride to back down. So how did it start? Let's rewind the clock. It began with whispers, intelligence reports, satellite images, intercepted communications. Israel believed Iran was ramping up its nuclear activity once again, possibly enriching uranium beyond peaceful thresholds. For Tel Aviv, this wasn't just concerning, it was unacceptable. And so, as it has done before, Israel acted. Precision airstrikes targeted what they called critical nuclear development infrastructure inside Iran, specifically in the cities of Qom and Fordo. Underground bunkers were hit. Facilities suspected of housing advanced centrifuges were reportedly destroyed. Iran responded in kind, and not quietly. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps unleashed a barrage of ballistic missiles and kamikaze drones into Israeli airspace. Some were in, others weren't. Cities like Haifa and Tel Aviv suffered hits. Videos surfaced showing burning buildings, people running for cover, and anti-aircraft systems lighting up the sky like fireworks of war. The world held its breath. America, Russia, China, everyone issued statements, condemnations, concerns, calls for restraint, but no one really did anything. They watched, they waited, and they hoped it wouldn't spiral further. But it did. Israel then escalated. In what it called a defensive offensive, it launched its most aggressive strike campaign in a decade. Fighter jets, drones, cyber units all deployed in synchronized operations against Iranian radar stations, missile depots, and command centers. Iran didn't stay silent. In what may be one of the most audacious military moves in recent times, Iran claimed responsibility for directly targeting Israeli nuclear-related facilities using long-range precision missiles. One Iranian drone even managed to bypass Israeli air defense systems and reach the Negev desert, a message to Tel Aviv that their reach was now real. But this wasn't just a battle in the skies, it was psychological warfare too. State-run Iranian media ran continuous footage of destroyed Israeli targets. Israel's news channels showed burning wreckage allegedly belonging to Iranian drones. Telegram, Twitter, Instagram flooded with real-time footage, half-truths, and nationalistic pride. Then came the unexpected wildcard. Donald Trump, the former U.S. president, who had been relatively silent during the first week of conflict, suddenly emerged as a self-declared peacemaker. Sources confirmed that Trump made back-channel calls to leaders in both Israel and Iran, not through the White House, not through embassies, but through direct, private networks built during his presidency. Why Trump? Some say it's because both sides trusted him more than Biden. Some say it was a political move for his campaign. Whatever the reason, it worked. Behind the scenes, Trump allegedly offered guarantees for Israel, assurances that Iran wouldn't retaliate if they stopped. For Iran, backdoor incentives, possible sanctions relief through Gulf intermediaries, or quiet support in OPEC+. Details remain unclear. But on the 12th night of the war, a miracle happened. The skies went quiet, missiles stopped flying, and both countries through gritted teeth agreed to an immediate ceasefire. Publicly, Israel declared victory. Netanyahu said Israel had severely degraded Iran's ability to threaten its sovereignty. Iran, meanwhile, said it had proven its deterrence capability by penetrating Israel's defense shield and showing that retaliation would be swift and painful. But underneath these bold statements lies an uncomfortable truth. Neither side won. Both lost soldiers. Both lost infrastructure. Both scared their people. Both rocked the global economy. Oil prices had surged to $98 per barrel. The Pakistani rupee dropped sharply. Stock exchanges from Tokyo to London suffered losses. Global shipping slowed through the Strait of Hormuz. Insurance premiums for cargo ships skyrocketed. The world felt the pain. And yet, the question remains, is this ceasefire real? Because just hours after it was declared, unverified footage surfaced of more missile activity. Iran accused Israel of violating the agreement. Israel accused Iran of false flag operations. To justify resumption of hostilities, Donald Trump tweeted, or rather, posted, "Both sides need to respect the deal. The world is watching. Don't make me come back." The post went viral. And now, here we are. In a moment of relative calm, sitting on a mountain of explosives. Part of the world is celebrating diplomacy. The other part is stockpiling food and fuel. The truth is, This conflict was never just about two countries. It's about power, it's about ideology, it's about survival. It's about the fear that one wrong move could light up the entire region. Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, already boiling. Saudi Arabia and UAE quietly watching. Turkey walking a diplomatic tightrope. Pakistan playing neutral but nervous. And then there's the elephant in the room, the nuclear threat. Iran insists it doesn't want the bomb. Israel insists Iran must be stopped before it can get one. The IAEA has limited access, and whatever inspections do happen, no one fully trusts the results. So, is this ceasefire a step toward peace, or just a tactical pause before the next explosion? The answer might lie in how the world reacts next. Will the United States offer a new nuclear deal to Iran, quietly through Oman or Qatar? Will Israel plan another silent cyber operation to delay enrichment? Will Iran double down, seeing the ceasefire as a sign of Israeli weakness? Too many questions, not enough honest answers. But one thing is clear, this story is far from over. This war may be paused, but the battlefield is still warm, and the players still armed. In the quiet halls of diplomacy, world leaders are scrambling behind closed doors. The White House is coordinating with European allies, trying to build a unified front. Russia is making its own moves. Putin has already had phone calls with Iran and Iraq, while also meeting envoys from Syria and Lebanon. Meanwhile, China is stepping into the spotlight, not with weapons, but with money. China sees this ceasefire as an opportunity, an opening to position itself as a broker of peace and a silent benefactor of chaos. Through investments in post-conflict rebuilding, Beijing is quietly building trust in Tehran while making overtures to Tel Aviv's tech sector. But even as global powers maneuver, on the ground, uncertainty reigns. In Israel, there is unrest. Citizens question whether Netanyahu's claim of victory is real or political theater. Families displaced in Haifa and Ashdod are demanding answers. Military experts are asking, if Iran penetrated our airspace once, can they do it again? And next time, will they go further? In Iran, the streets are quieter, but the sentiment is fierce. Martyrs' funerals have turned into nationalist rallies. The IRGC is gaining popularity, painting the ceasefire as proof of Iran's strength. But behind the scenes, the Iranian economy is gasping for breath. Sanctions are still in place, oil exports are limited, and inflation is choking the average citizen. That's why the ceasefire had to happen. Both sides needed it not because they wanted peace, but because they couldn't afford war. Now, intelligence agencies across the world are watching for signs of betrayal, signs of preparation, satellite images, shipment records, cyber traffic. They're watching power plants, fuel depots, and communications hubs, because everyone knows a ceasefire is only as strong as the silence that follows it. And this silence is shaky. Already rebel factions in Syria have launched rockets toward the Golan Heights. Hezbollah is regrouping. Houthi rebels in Yemen have declared support for Iran. Israeli settlers are clashing with Palestinians in the West Bank. It's like a house full of gas. One match and everything ignites. What about the people? The innocent lives caught between missiles and maps. For the families in Gaza and Ashkelon. For the children in Tehran and Tel Aviv. This ceasefire means more than politics. To sleep without fear. To imagine a tomorrow. But that hope is fragile. So, what should we expect now? The next few weeks will be critical. If the ceasefire holds, it could pave the way for Bagashano negotiations. Not public peace deals but secret understandings, limits lines, unspoken rules. If it breaks, the next round could be worse, more deadly, more wide-reaching, more permanent. In the end, this isn't just about Iran and Israel. It's about all of us. Because, in a world that's connected, a spark in the Middle East doesn't stay in the Middle East. It travels through oil markets, political alliances, refugee crises, and global trade. This is not just their war. It's our warning. So while the missiles may have stopped now the real test begins today. The test of restraint, the test of wisdom, the test of whether silence can last longer than rage. And maybe, just maybe, the world has learned something from the edge of the abyss. Only time will tell. But for now we can hope. Hope that the next sound we hear is not a siren, but silence that stays.